All right, we got Masta P's red GMC. We in here fixing the #1 button to keep your 4L60 working, that tow haul button. A little wire broke, so putting a little patch on that. But we're getting ready to completely sand down the truck, do a 4/6 drop, and add a roll pan. So we were scanning the internet looking for ideas on how to paint this thing yesterday, and we come across a 68 dropped regular cab two-tone. Y'all just gonna have to wait and see how it comes out, but we're gonna paint the roll pan right now. Yeah, so we went and got us a $57 score on eBay. And when they electroplate coat these things, they're not perfect. You just can't pull them out of the box and paint them. Like if you could see right here, it's gonna be on the underside, but there's a little sand that's gotta be done. It's got a chip in the little primer right there. And this will rust through eventually, so you just can't put them on like this either. And I also like to paint the back sides because that's just the same type of coating. It may rust. We're gonna go ahead and scuff this up a little bit and get it ready to put on once it's dry. So we're gonna use a little 400 wet or dry and just kind of rough up. It's got a lot of orange peel in it. We're gonna smooth that out a little bit and wipe it down and lay a coat of white. When you're sand with your fingers together instead of open. That way it doesn't create high and low marks. Or use a block. You ain't gotta press hard. You just gotta get the bumps off the top. So you're really just passing your hand around and getting the shine off of it. Some of them are pretty good bumps. Oh, some of them are, so you gotta kind of sand them out. But it's definitely let the paint adhere to it. That's more like it. So where all that high stuff was, that was real bumpy, has now been taken care of. It's a nice smooth, you can feel it to the touch. Here was a low spot. The paint we're using should fill that in though. It's a thicker kind of paint. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But we got the high spots sanded out and everything feels nice and smooth. So we're gonna wipe it down with some wax and grease remover and lay the first coat. So a long time ago, I worked at a little hardware store and it taught me pretty much everything in the world. So there's this little metal ball in these things, and that the inside of the can is raised up and all the pigment likes to stay inside this corner down here. So when you go to shake your paint, if you can't hear that ball, there you go, smoothly rolling around in the bottom of the can, all the pigment is not out the can. So once you can get your ball to roll, then you can go ahead and just shake it up and lay it out. So we're gonna go attack the corners first. Just a light coat. You're not supposed to see perfect results on the first pass. Flat paint also dries a whole lot faster than gloss. So now it'll pull the overspray away from me. The more you shake it, the more you get out of it. So my first coat's gonna go all in one direction, like when I did my hood. You should go check that video out. I used the turbo can on the Suburban hood when I first got it. There we go, now the wind's working with me. That 10-inch fan spray. I got a lot of painting videos. And I primarily use spray paint. Spray paint's come a long way with this paint and primer in one. It actually smells like automotive paint. So my first coat, I'm gonna run it all this one direction. Second coat, I'm gonna come back and stripe it the other way. Third coat is gonna be a nice, heavy, hard shell finish. But I'm gonna go catch my corners one more time and let that set up. And flash time is 15 minutes. So we're gonna give it 15, come back through another coat. It looks like we're gonna have to get one more can. It's also hard to cover a dark color with a light color. It's way easier to color a light color with a dark color. That's it for can one. So you can see there's a little holidays in it. It looks like tiger stripes. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but that's why my first coat went this way. My second coat runs this way, and my third coat's gonna run back in the longitudinal shape of it, because it's gonna go across the back of the truck that direction. But when you go to the store, I only picked up one can of this, and 2 cans will do her. All right, so we got 2 coats on it. Had to move it from out there. The wind was blowing all kind of oak tree snot in the paint, but it was dry enough to wipe off. So this is 2 coats of satin white Krylon Fusion. On the roll pan, we're throwing on Masta P's red GMC. We're gonna two-tone the truck, give it an old school 68 look, and I think it'll be really freaking cool. We're gonna do the bottom skirt and the roof like a deluxe model. So let's throw coat number 3 on it. So this time I'm gonna run them with the bumper. Try to get some nice overlap. And it should knock all those holidays off that black primer to the white surface finish. And this is a nice satin white. It's not going to be shiny. You can already see it satining, if that's a word. Come back from this side, catch the bottom where I couldn't get. Just lay it out like you'd lay out car paint. Get up in here. This came out awesome, this little area. Just kind of keep it flowing. Stay about 6 to 8 inches away. You use the sheen to your advantage. Going with the paint. All right, let's keep it flowing. Kind of keep the overspray going down. You see that when the tailgate's open pretty good. All right, let's keep the flow. You got to put your head where you can kind of see the shine. So you know where you've been and where you haven't been. The wind is working in our advantage, blowing the overspray away from the car or away from the panel. Oh, too much wind. That's the other reason we chose satin. Gloss is hard to do in the yard, but satin will lay out. Come on this side, keep it going. The old Masta P ought to be happy with that. Catch that side. That's a wrap. I don't see any holidays, I just see clean white paint. Well, there is the roll pan from Masta P's red GMC. Truck's red, even though the roll pan's white, you're like, why is the roll pan white? Well, it's gonna kind of look like this picture here of this truck. We have a pretty good idea. We're gonna kind of do the deluxe 80s paint scheme on it with the white on the bottom and the white roof, even though it's an extended cab. So the red's going to be a matte red pepper, and the two-tone's gonna be a satin white. So yeah, we're gonna rattle can the truck. I promise you it's gonna come out looking right. There is a technique to it, and you gotta paint it in doses to make it look right. But it's a budget truck. We're trying to keep the paint job under 200 bucks and make scraping the coast. We got about 86 days left until we get there. So we got a ton of stuff to do. Still have to do a 2.4. No, we're doing a 4.6 drop on Masta P's red GMC. I'm doing a 6.8 on the Suburban because it's a 3/4 ton. So with the axle flip in the rear, it'll be 8. We got that coming up. So y'all check out my content on my channel. I got playlists and everything to go. And we're doing the countdown to scraping this year. It's going to be a blast. Check me out, y'all. Later.